Have you ever wondered why you felt like a stranger in your own family? Why you can sit at the dinner table with people who share your blood, yet still feel like an alien who somehow landed in the wrong house? Why the way you think, the way you dream, the way you hurt never seems to match the rhythm of the people around you? It's as if your soul was sent centuries ahead of theirs, born into a time and a tribe that can't quite see you, can't quite understand you. They laugh when you cry. They settle when you dream. They call you too much when you speak and too quiet when you withdraw. And all the while, deep in the marrow of your bones, you've always known the truth. You're not like them. But here's what no one told you. You're not broken. You're not lost. You are chosen. And being chosen is not a ticket to comfort. It's a summons to purpose. Purpose doesn't come dressed in soft blankets and easy roads. It burns like fire in your chest. It feels like silence in a crowded room. It's the sound of God whispering your name when no one else even remembers you exist. Because in every family, in every generation, there is always one, just one, soul bold enough, awake enough, and stubborn enough to break the patterns no one else could. That soul carries the weight so the others can breathe. And if these words have found you today, it's not by accident. Something in you was meant to hear this. What you've always mistaken for a curse is actually your calling. That quiet restlessness, that ache you can't name, that sense that you're here for something more, it's your spirit remembering why you were placed in that specific family, with those specific struggles, and that history. And if you're still here, still reading, it may be because you are that one, the pattern breaker, the cycle ender, the one who came to stop the generational freefall. But let's be honest, being the chosen one doesn't feel like victory. It feels like war, a quiet war, invisible to everyone around you, but raging inside your spirit. You're not just carrying your own wounds. You're carrying the unspoken trauma your family never dared to name. You can walk into a room and feel the atmosphere shift before anyone says a word. You can sense patterns woven into the family DNA, and you know, deep down, that they stop with you. You weren't chosen because you were the strongest. You were chosen because you were willing to confront what others run from, willing to question what others accept without thought, willing to hurt if it means the next generation heals. You forgive people who never apologize. You give love in places that have never known it. You break habits that feel centuries old. And you do it without applause, without recognition, without anyone even knowing what it costs. But heaven sees. Heaven knows. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. That isolation you've been feeling, it's not abandonment. It's God pulling you aside to sharpen you in silence. Those delays that make you feel left behind, they're not mistakes. They're divine timing, aligning your life with something much bigger than your comfort. That constant tension in your spirit, it's the weight of destiny pressing against your shoulders. While others are allowed to rest in dysfunction, you've been called to rise through it. And when God chooses someone to carry oil, He also allows them to feel the crushing. That's what they don't see. They see your light, but not the nights you begged for the calling to be taken away. They see your strength, but not the scars it's built on. And yet, He didn't release you from it because He knew you wouldn't quit. Maybe you've asked yourself, why am I always the one under fire? Why do I cry over things no one else notices? Why does peace feel so rare and the battle so constant? The answer is simple. You're not just living for yourself. You're living for everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after. You are the bridge between the old and the new. You are the wall that holds back what once poured through your bloodline. You are the first of your kind. And here's the truth. No one has told you? The burden isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your awakening. Carrying this weight was never about surviving. It was about transforming everything you touch. Let's talk about something most people run from. Divine isolation. Not loneliness. Isolation. That sacred silent space where everything familiar fades away. Where even the ones closest to you feel distant. Where your own family can look you in the eyes and still not see you. You show up with love, and they respond with distance. You speak truth, and they call it rebellion. You shine too brightly, and they shrink back in discomfort. But you're not being abandoned. You're being set apart. Chosen ones are never planted in the crowd. They're pulled out of it. They walk differently, think differently, and see differently. Not because they're better, but because their vision stretches beyond the boundaries of the people around them. You can't carry a heavenly assignment and expect earthly approval. Even Jesus said, "A prophet is without honor in his own home." Joseph dreamed of royalty, and his own brothers threw him in a pit, not because he was weak, but because they could sense the crown before it ever touched his head. That's what divine isolation does. It removes you from the noise, from the patterns, from the distractions. It hides you in the shadows so you can be prepared in the light. Think about it. A butterfly doesn't grow wings in the wind. It grows them in the dark, in silence, inside a cocoon no one understands. So if you've been feeling misunderstood, if doors have closed without explanation, if relationships have faded without reason, pause. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. This isolation is the hallway between your past and your purpose. In that hidden space, God does his deepest work. No applause, no audience, just eternal intention. And here's the secret. The greater the call, the deeper the separation. If you're walking through your own spiritual wilderness, unseen and unheard, you haven't been forgotten. You've been trusted. God is forming something so rare, so necessary, it must be crafted in private. And when your time comes, when the cocoon splits open, when the pit becomes a throne, the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to watch the elevation. But before that day comes, there's something else you need to understand. Why you feel everything so deeply. Why you've been given a heart that seems to carry more than most. Do you ever feel like you live with an awareness no one else has? While others are laughing, you're carrying a quiet heaviness. While they're distracted by noise, you're tuned to a voice they can't hear. You notice the smile that doesn't reach someone's eyes, the tension in a conversation when the words are polite, but the air is thick, the storm brewing in silence. You sense it before it breaks. This is not weakness. It's your greatest strength. It's spiritual sensitivity. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to be the lighthouse in your family's storm, the one who sees past the surface, who hears the quiet warning before the flood, who feels the tremor before the quake. This gift was given to you, not to make you a victim, but to make you a protector. You can sense the cracks before the foundation splits. You can smell danger long before it's visible. And when the world rushes toward the wrong answers, you're the one who stands still and points toward truth. This sensitivity may have felt like a burden, but it's also the armor that equips you to stand in the gap for those who can't yet see. You are the watchman over your family. When storms come, and they will, you'll be the one they turn to, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you stood the longest. And there's more to this calling, much more, because the reason you feel everything is not just about you. It's about the legacy you were sent to protect. Every family has shadows, patterns no one names but everyone follows, poverty passed down like an heirloom, addictions hidden behind closed doors, abuse swept under the rug, silence used to smother the truth, dreams crushed before they had a chance to live. But then, Every so often, a disruptor is born. And in your family, that disruptor is you. The disruptor is never born into ease. You didn't come into this life to fit the mold. You came to break it. You didn't inherit a perfect script. You inherited a tangled web of unspoken pain, outdated beliefs, and wounds wrapped in silence. And instead of following the well-worn path that led to more of the same, you've been cutting a new trail with your bare hands. You've been bleeding on thorns, so those who come after you can walk barefoot in peace. That's what they don't see when they wonder why you're different. They see the changes, but not the cost. They taste the fruit, but have no idea how deep your roots had to dig into rock just to survive. Every family line has its battles. Some pass along land, others pass along stories, but too many pass along pain. Cycles that seem inevitable until one person stands up and refuses to let them continue. You are that person. The one who refuses to let poverty be just the way it is. The one who breaks the silence around abuse instead of letting it rot another generation from the inside. The one who refuses to hand addiction, anger, and hopelessness to the next set of hands. It's not that you wanted this fight. Who would? But you saw too much to pretend you didn't. Once you see the chains, you can't unsee them. And once you've felt their weight, you can't rest until they're broken. And that mission, that holy defiance, comes with a cost most will never understand. It costs you comfort, because you can't unlearn the truth. It costs you belonging, because not everyone wants to hear what you've discovered. It costs you peace of mind at times, because you carry the awareness of what's at stake. But here's the mystery. While it costs you so much on the surface, it's also planting something unshakable inside you. That something is the foundation for the kind of life your descendants will thank you for. They may never know your name, but they will feel the safety you bled to give them. You carry a spiritual DNA built for transformation. What crushed others will not crush you. What silenced them will make you speak louder. You are not just here to break chains. You're here to build altars. Altars of healing where there was only hurt. Altars of truth where lies once reigned. Altars of hope where despair used to sit like an uninvited guest. You are the first in your family to say, I forgive so I can be free. I refuse to carry what was never mine. I will raise my children in peace, not fear. I will bless the next generation with a new beginning. Whether they recognize it or not, you are the answer to a prayer someone in your family whispered decades or centuries ago. You are the yes to a plea heaven never forgot. And while others may dismiss your journey or roll their eyes at your choices, heaven keeps a different record. Heaven sees every midnight wrestle, every moment you bit your tongue when you could have lashed out, every tear you cried when no one was watching. Heaven saw you standing in the fire and recognized you not as a victim, but as a warrior. You were sent into the flames not to be consumed, but to pull others out, to turn what was meant to destroy you into something that would deliver them. But there's something you've probably noticed by now, a pull that never lets you rest for long, a holy restlessness that stirs in your chest, even in your quietest moments. This is not anxiety. This is destiny moving inside you. You have felt the call even when you didn't have words for it. That call is proof that your story doesn't end with breaking patterns. It ends with building something so enduring that no one behind you will ever have to start from scratch again. You've heard the questions whispered behind your back. Why can't you just relax? Why do you care so much? Why are you always the one pushing for change? Why do you keep choosing the harder path? Why do you always have to pray about everything? But the truth is simple. Chosen ones are not designed to be understood in real time. Your assignment is generational. Your life is a seed planted for a harvest that might not come until long after you've gone. That's why you can't fit into the patterns of the present, because your purpose belongs to the future. While others seek applause, you've been planting seeds in silence. While they build for now, you've been building for eternity. The freedom your grandchildren will enjoy will be the result of choices you're making right now in obscurity. They won't know the cost of your obedience, but they will live in the shelter it creates. You are breaking invisible ceilings so those who follow can dream higher. You are digging wells of wisdom so they never have to thirst for what you fought to learn. You are clearing the ground so they can build without bleeding. And one day when they ask, "Why is our family different now? Why do we have this peace? Why does life feel safe in ways it didn't before?" The answer will be traced back to you, to the moment you decided enough was enough, to the day you chose purpose over applause. You are the living fulfillment of ancient prayers. Your life is a thread in a divine legacy, woven with intention by a God who has not missed a single moment of your sacrifice. Your journey has not gone unnoticed. Every tear has been collected. Every step through the fire has been recorded. You are here because you were trusted to carry something most could not. And that trust means that while the world may never hand you a trophy, heaven has already crowned you. And yet, there is one last truth you must carry with you. It will explain why the battle has been so fierce, why the attacks came early, why the weight felt unbearable at times. You have been in a war that began before you were even born. Hell saw what heaven placed in you and tried to silence it before it could speak. The loneliness you felt as a child, the rejection, the misunderstandings, they were not random. They were strategic attempts to make you doubt the very identity God placed in you. But they failed. You are still here, still breathing, still rising, still saying yes when it would have been easier to run, still choosing to love when it would have been easier to hate, still building when it would have been easier to destroy. That is what makes you dangerous to every force that ever tried to break you. You are not too sensitive. You are attuned. You are not too intense. You are equipped. You are not broken. You are battle-tested. You have been walking a lonely road, but never an empty one. Heaven has been with you from the beginning. The silence you thought was abandonment was actually strategy. The pain you thought was punishment was actually preparation. The isolation you thought was rejection was actually revelation. Because those who carry legacy must first learn to carry fire. And you have not only carried it, you have kept it burning in the coldest nights. That is why you are dangerous. That is why you are unstoppable. That is why the future is different, because you exist. So here is my final blessing to your spirit. May every curse that shadowed your family bow to the light you carry. May your voice shatter the silence that hid the truth. May your hands build what fear tried to destroy. May your life become the undeniable proof that God saves the strongest warriors for the hardest battles. You are not just changing your own life, you are rewriting destiny itself. The world has no idea what's about to rise through you. If something in you is stirring right now, don't ignore it. Speak it out loud. Declare it over yourself. I am the shift, not for attention, not for validation, but as a declaration to heaven that you accept the assignment, that you step into alignment, that you will live it, breathe it, and carry it forward. Because your time is now. Your voice matters. Your legacy begins today. Rise, chosen one. The generations are waiting.